Hello, I'm Martin Smith and this is your UFX Markets Week in Review. Today we'll cover some of the major events of the past week and discuss how they impacted the global currency markets. The US dollar declined by the most in 11 months versus the euro after the Federal Reserve announced that it would start a third round of asset purchases to stimulate the economy. The greenback had its longest stretch of weekly losses against the 17 nation currencies since October 2010, after the European Central Bank said they would purchase bonds to address the region's debt crisis. Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke announced the extension of asset purchases to address US unemployment that's remained above the 8% level since February 2009. The euro was last trading at the level of 131.34 against the US dollar, an increase of 1.13%. The Canadian dollar increased to a high of more than 13 months against the US dollar as stimulus measures by the Fed spurred global demand for higher returning assets like stocks and commodities. Canadian factory sales unexpectedly declined in July, and investors are concerned that global weakness is undermining the country's recovery. The Canadian dollar was last seen trading at the level of 0.9699 against the US dollar, an increase of 0.18%. The Australian dollar increased to its highest level in a month against the US dollar on prospects the Fed plans to expand asset purchases will weaken demand for the greenback. The US Central Bank said it would expand its holdings of long-term securities with open-ended purchases of $40 billion of mortgage debt per month. The Australian dollar was trading at the level of 105.67 last Friday, an increase of 0.21%. Commodities advanced as the Fed's third round of monetary measures were announced to boost the US economy, raising expectations that demand for energy and precious metals will increase. Oil advanced to its highest level in more than 4 months as the Fed's plan to purchase mortgage securities spurred demand for commodities and stocks. Increasing unrest in the Middle East and North Africa has also heightened concern that oil supplies may be disrupted. Oil was last trading at the level of 99 against the dollar, which is an increase of 0.70%. Gold rose last Friday, reaching a 6-month high after the announcement by the Fed about the economic stimulus program, which may lead to a risk for inflation and heighten the appeal of gold. Gold was trading at the level of $1,769.82 against the US dollar last Friday, an increase of 0.19%. Well, that's all we have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed this week's review and you'll join us next week. Until then, be sure to visit us at ufxmarkets.com for all of your online trading needs. For UFX Markets, I'm Martin Smith. Good luck and happy trading.